to Just Between Us. I'm Allison Raskin. This is Phantom Blakesley. That's Sugar Raskin off camera, and that's Gabe Dunn.
Oh, show your shirt.
No.
Why?
It's subtle messaging. I'm doing subtle messaging.
It's our merch at justbetweenuspod.com or AllisonRaskinExposed.com.
I'm cutting that one.
No!
Okay, so today's episode is
it came up because I came over and I said that I was depressed. And I don't know how much media we can create with me being actively depressed.
This is our third video of the day, though.
No, I'm talking about how we've done episodes of the podcast where I'm just actively depressed. We've done for those of you new to the channel, our lives, I have bipolar disorder and I go through a lot of downs, depressions. I upped my meds.
Oh, recently?
Yeah, my meds are up. I have, not to brag, but I have suicidal ideation. And so I went and saw the psychiatrist. I'm back up on the meds. I went up 25 on the sertraline and I went up 50 on the lamotrigine. The last time I went up on the sertraline, I was very anxious. But I also know that I cannot live the way that I live with my brain thinking the thoughts that it thinks. But it is hard to make stuff and do stuff and be on a schedule when you just kind of want to lay down.
Yeah.
And also, it hurts your body to be depressed. And I'm sure I've talked about this before, but I get my joints hurt. I'm laying down, but everything hurts. It's very, your chest hurts, hard to breathe. It's very, it's not just oh, I'm sad. It's I don't know.
Oh, for your experience of it.
Yeah, it's very physically debilitating. Yeah. Mostly what keeps me tethered to this earth is feeling bad that other people would feel bad.
Sometimes that's what you gotta focus on.
Yeah, it's literally...
I've definitely, that's been my saving grace many a time. I think some people reach a level of suicidal ideation where their brain tells them that it would be better for the world.
And I have had that, definitely.
But I luckily have never been to that place. So I've been able to stop impulses because of loyalty to my family and stuff.
Yeah.
But for some people, it gets to a place where they think it's really, that it would be helpful to leave.
Well, this is the cycle. The cycle goes, no one cares. I'm terrible. I should just go. Then I go, well, but if I go, everyone's gonna be so mad, and they're never gonna they'll never get over it, and it'll ruin their whole lives forever, and so then I can't do it. But now even that I wanted to do that means I'm a horrible person who should just go. It just goes like that. And then I'm what am I gonna do? Make everyone just have a terrible rest of their lives because they feel like they could have done something? And then it's well, yeah, but then, that I want to do that means that I'm probably making them upset now, and I don't even know that I'm making them upset now, so maybe it'd be better if, it just, it feeds itself. But it's going in a cycle where, think about that, right? I'm so many people would be upset if I unalived myself. I guess that's what the kids say. People would be so upset, right? But then I'm but nobody cares about me, so I should just do it. But then who are the people that would be upset if nobody cares about me?
Well, so, right, a lot of these thoughts aren't based in logic.
Right. And I could say that right now, but in the moment, I should make a little poster that says, if people would be upset, then if nobody would care, then who are the people that would be upset? Because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, it's not logical.
I know, but how do I make a big poster for my apartment that shows me that,
I know. I think it's also hard because it's the idea of a mental health day is difficult when you produce your own stuff and literally the work doesn't, it's not you go to the office and someone can cover for you.
Yeah.
If you have a mental health day, it's
no.
If you have a podcast scheduled, what are you gonna do?
Last night I wasn't feeling that great and I forgot to edit. I forgot to send Melissa notes for Bad with Money. And so at 11:30, she was like, hey, do you have notes? And I was like, you know what? We just got to run the show. Mm-hmm. So we ran the episode. I don't know what it sounds like. Hopefully I didn't cancel myself. But I was just you know what? The show, I can't, and because we have ad commitments, right? I can't go, well, wait, I didn't edit I didn't even listen to it. Or we can't publish it. I was just let it ride. That's what's great about there being two of us.
Yeah.
And like, luckily, like, I'm sure Melissa wouldn't let me be like, the Civil War was good. You know what I mean? Like the Confederacy had the right idea. Like, she wouldn't let me say that. You know what I mean? So like, I can trust that she would cut that out. You know what I mean? She's not gonna be like, be like,
but now we do have you saying that on camera.
It's definitely tough to be like, the responsibilities are only yours, so you can't just kind of lay in bed. And also that it just, I don't know if that makes it worse to lay in bed, if it's better. Sometimes like having to take beans out makes it like, okay, I have to be outside.
Yeah. I
have to interface with people, even if I like don't really want to, but like someone else might be walking their dog, I might have to say hi to them. And then if I do, then I have to say words out loud, which is like proof of existence. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just in your apartment and you don't have to say hi or talk to anyone, sometimes I'll just be like, I gotta go grocery shopping because I gotta be forced to interact with a person.
Yeah, well, behavioral activation is a really good tool when you're depressed.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah, like when you kind of like make yourself go do things and then you end up enjoying them more than you think that you would. So it's like forcing yourself to do stuff you normally like, even though you have no interest in doing it right now.
And what's the balance of like dragging myself to stuff when I just like don't, I feel like a shell. But it's also like, right, it's behavioral activation, but also sometimes then I'll be like, but I'm gonna be a not good version of myself at this thing. But sometimes it helps just to be like, I'm depressed. Like I had plans with someone to go to a movie, and at the movie I was just like, hey, I'm low energy. Did I tell you this? That I was like, I'm low energy, I'm depressed. And then my friend came like back to the seat and was like, I got you a Sprite.
That's so
And
nice.
I was like, thanks. And he was like, I don't know if that, it's sort of the autistic leading the autistic at that point, but I was like, oh, thanks. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. Does that do anything?
It would for me.
Yeah, it was kind of like, hey,
It's
thanks.
nice. Someone cares about you.
Yeah.
Just trying to make you feel better.
Oh, hey, thanks.
I think it's also like, it can be the thing of like, why don't I try going to the event? But if 30 minutes in I'm miserable, I'm allowed to go home early.
Yes.
I think that like,
you're always allowed to go home.
Kind of like push yourself and then see how it feels.
Yeah.
And then once you're actually doing it, giving yourself the permission to be like, actually, no.
Yeah, and I felt bad because I had tickets to this, film forum thing, and I was like, I gotta go, I gotta network, I gotta be on, but I was so depressed that I went to the things, I went to the panels, I got the notes and stuff, but I just like could not, and I paid to go, could not drag myself to the parties. I like couldn't do it. And I was like, I felt bad because I was like, you paid to go to this thing, and then I just had to reframe it and be like, you saw the panels, you did the meetings that you had to do while you were there that you signed up for, like the parties and networking would have been extra, but like that's okay because you just like are kind of near tears.
When we're recording and you like aren't feeling well or like feeling depressed, do you find it difficult to like pay attention to like what we're talking about?
I think sometimes I'm like, what I'm saying is dumb. Like I'll be like giving advice or like talking about a topic or something, and I'll be like, in my mind, I'll be like, what a fucking idiot.
That's terrible.
Yeah, like, or I'll be like, am I making any sense?
Yeah.
Like coming here today, I was like, I'm not going to be useful to these people in any way. What am I going to say to this audience? They're coming here. They're looking for role models. They're looking for aspiration. They're looking for, us to provide the answers. And I'm like rolling up to your house. I'm parking the car going, I don't fucking know, man.
I don't know if that's what they're coming for.
Stuff is what it is. Stuff is stuff. And like, does it get better? Who could say? And like, some teen in Nebraska doesn't need to hear me say that.
But I think that like there's value to showing that like there are days like this, and then there are the days that feel different, and that like it really is like not a linear recovery.
I've texted you this. I think I texted Drew this recently where I was like, will I ever feel joy again? I don't know that I will.
Well, let's see. The last time you were depressed,
yeah.
Did you feel joy after that?
I don't remember. Probably not. What was joy? What does joy feel like?
You know what could be helpful for you?
What?
Is if you have a journal and then you write down every activity that you do and how you felt about it.
Yes, I do journal, but I should journal.
Like as you're going through the day, you
Yeah.
can be like, I just had coffee with a friend. I enjoyed myself. And then it'll be like, I just had a meeting. I was feeling depressed, or like you'll end up like looking back on the journal, and there will probably be more moments of joy or contentment or laughter than you think that there are, and it can be helpful to like see that sort of laid out for you.
I like kickball. I'm getting good at kickball.
See?
And I went out with kickball people on Sunday, and that was pretty fun.
So that you had joy on Sunday, and it's only Tuesday.
Yeah, I wish we had won our game though.
Okay, well there's always something to be upset about.
It really affects my mood if we win or not. Then that's sort of a problem. Deeply competitive. Because if we lose, then you gotta walk past, you gotta shake everyone's hand and say, good game, good game, good game. It's not a good game. It wasn't a good game for me.
You don't have to win to have fun.
Yeah, I do.
That's the thing I had to learn. Because I used to, like, when I would play tennis, I would be, like, too upset about it if I was, like, winning. Now, all I care about is if I'm playing well.
Yeah, I guess I'm doing well. But now I am increasingly frustrated with the people on the team who are not doing well. Because I'm like, I'm holding my own over here. What the fuck are you jokers doing?
How has the experience of recording been compared to how you thought that it would go? You can be honest if you've had a horrible time.
No, I haven't had a horrible time. I don't know. I don't know what do I want to do with my life? When will the horrors of the world cease?
Well, I think another thing is sometimes I say it would be irrational for me to be feeling good in this moment.
Strike, war, like very bad.
Right. So I think that like sometimes because we're in such like a pick yourself up by your bootstraps manifestation culture, that there's like, well, I should be happy every moment of the day. And if I'm not, then I'm failing at having good mental health or being a good person. And a new thing I'm doing, especially with everything that's been going on in the world, is I'm saying like, it makes sense that I'm not happy right now. And the expectation to be happy right now is probably unfair.
I wish I was dumb. Once you reach a certain level of intelligence, if you're not depressed, you're not paying attention.
I think it is harder to be regulated when you think about things, yes.
How do I stop thinking about things? I'm just going to Google how to lower IQ. Oh! Huff paint.
No!